Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. We're here to discuss briefings. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't think this is going to be the news that people are waiting to see, but we have to talk about the news that is out here, and the news is getting more and more annoying by the day. We've got another briefing that's just dropped. Another briefing. And I'm sorry to say, guys, it's not the news that we were looking for, but it's also news that isn't even really that surprising. Paul Winstanley and Laurence Stewart have retained the full trust of the Chelsea ownership. Great. Great. The full trust of the Chelsea ownership. Despite the criticism frequently directed at them from supporters. This is just one in a string of updates that we've got from The Athletic and from Liam Toomey, which was briefed by Chelsea Football Club. But after all that's gone on over the last couple months, with all the fans that have turned on the direction of this club, myself included, people try to say, "Oh, Lewis, you flip-flopped and everything." No, I've been consistent since May. Ever since Poch got sacked, I said my focus was going to be on these two sporting directors and on Clear Lake if we weren't successful. And it looks like we're on the route to fail to get top four again. So, pressure must be applied. Now that the pressure is on Winstanley and Stewart, and the pressure is on Igbali and Clear Lake, we get this. They have retained the full trust of the Chelsea ownership, despite the criticism frequently directed at them from supporters. And guys, this is why, in spite of the fact that I don't think Clear Lake can sell up, except to other members of the consortium, but in spite of that, I back the protest being about Clear Lake going out. It's about, I back Clear Lake out, I back the Blue Co out thing and all of that, because we kind of have to apply pressure on them now. We have to apply pressure on them so that they can realize that this garbage isn't working. This briefing right here has just showed that they are doing exactly what Igbali wants. They are doing exactly what the ownership wants, and the ownership is fine with the way things are going, which is why they have retained full trust, which is why this briefing has dropped with the amount of pressure that is on these sporting directors. Because where there are sections of the fan base that are a bit confused as to whether we can sell up or not, even though there are sections of the fan base that are thinking, I wouldn't mind it if it was just Bowley in charge, for example, with a new consortium. Everybody is united in their belief that these two are not the guys to be leading this club forward. These two should be gone. They should have been gone last season with Pochettino, with hindsight in mind. But we gave them one more chance. Just hoped that this season would be different. And what did we do? We've sabotaged the last two windows. We have absolutely sabotaged the last two windows and failed to build on the Chelsea squad that should have got top four and should have won the Carabao Cup last season. These men wasted last season as well, solely by standing by Maurizio Pochettino until the end of the season. All to then brief to everybody that there was an 18-page dossier that they created by the end of the season with reasons why Pochettino needed to go. And I mean, fair enough. I could have wrote an article bigger than 18 pages describing why Poch had to go too. But you hired him and you gave him the entirety of that season. And then tried to pat yourselves on the back by getting rid of him. Then you briefed to the media that the next manager was under pressure for top four. Then you go and tell Enzo Maresca all season to say that top four isn't a target. All of this confusion, all of this stagnation comes down to the sporting directors, and it comes down to Igbali ultimately, which is why I get people doing the Clear Lake out protest. Ultimately, you have to put pressure on all of them and hope that it facilitates some sort of change, be it a change in the model, be it a change in sporting directors. But for it to just be the pressure on Maresca, I don't understand, because if we go through to other parts of this briefing, Chelsea want Enzo Maresca to be the long-term leader. He is less than halfway through what is regarded by them as effectively a double season with 2 Premier League campaigns. All stuff we already knew. That's not it. This was the one that we wanted. The next Pochettino-style review, led by Paul Winstanley and Laurence Stewart, has always been projected to take place in the summer of 2026. So what they're telling us is that these sporting directors could be here until next year as part of the plans. And also, this manager is going to be reviewed by the sporting directors. Huh? This is another annoying thing as well. Even Matt Law came out a few weeks ago and said it's more likely that Maresca will be under review at the end of the season compared to the sporting directors. Why can't the sporting directors be under review as well? Because they're following what the owners want. Which is why ultimately you have to do the Clear Lake out thing. Whether Clear Lake can go or not, it makes sense to just do it just so that everyone has a little bit of unity. And also just so you can put the pressure on them to try and facilitate some sort of change. Like, Maresca might need a second season as things stand. But ultimately, he will need a second season because you lot have failed to give him the profiles that he needed to actually get this squad cooking. The second striker option, or the striker with box presence, the Lavia replacement, the centre-back with recovery pace that would allow us to play a high line and still be able to get players back in time. There's a reason why we haven't been able to do that since Fofana's got injured. Just a competent goalkeeper. We haven't even been able to give him that because we've been too busy trying to pressure him to play Sanchez every week. It's ridiculous, man. The self-sabotage that this season has had is ridiculous. But we sit here and we act like it's Maresca that has to be under the review and not the sporting directors. If Maresca is under review, so be it. But make sure that the two up above are as well. But they won't be because, again, they are following what the leader wants. And the leader is Igbali. This is why, ultimately, you got to cut the head off. You got to cut the head off first. Which is why you have to put the pressure on Igbali and on the sporting directors. Why am I taking this down quickly? Is there anything else on this article too? Chelsea view Maresca's style as a route to success. They're building the club around it. They believe it suits the players they have signed and the ones they intend to sign in the future. A style of football they believe offers the best chance of transforming this vast recruitment project into a consistent winner on the pitch at the highest level. If they're building the club around it, why have they done nothing to help it over the last 2 windows? The only areas that we've improved is left wing. Even right wing is a debate because Neto really hasn't moved the needle like that compared to Noni this season. Only Sancho has been the outright improvement in terms of transfers. Or you can maybe say Jorgensen too. But the bar is so damn low with Philip Jorgensen that I don't even think I can run that. I don't even think I can run that. Robert Sanchez is such a bad barometer to judge goalkeepers on. I don't even think it's fair to use that personally. So if you're trying to see Maresca's style as a route to success, how about you back him? The man asked for a striker in January and you didn't give him one. You didn't give him one. You just sat there and thought about whether it would be a good idea to bring this bum to the club. For goodness sakes. What else is here? Achievement in guiding Leicester to promotion from the Championship. Impressed Chelsea's senior leadership. Playing a style of football that offers control, balancing chance creation with defensive solidity. Again, get him the right players. What's Ben Jacobs said here? Come summer, a striker will be top of the Chelsea list of priorities. Oh, brother. Window 6 into the 4-window plan, guys. And then we're going to go and get the second striker option. Great. What an intelligent institution we are. Delap and Sesko, 2 names high in Chelsea's thinking right now. Wow, that they've managed to find a new buzzword. instead of monitoring, instead of keeping track, instead of admiring, we are now high in Chelsea's thinking. Gyökeres has come under fresh consideration. What is this BS, by the way? What is this absolute BS? Gyökeres has come under fresh consideration. Fresh. You were looking at him in last summer. He's not like a flavor of the month player. People have been talking about him for over a year now. Delap, Sesko, and Gyökeres. These men want to move like they've come up with a fresh name. All of these names have been linked with us over the last year. These men are an embarrassment. These men are an absolute embarrassment. Is there anything else here before we wrap up? Huijsen. Actually a really good centre-back. Don't get it twisted. But the whole point of this model was to find people like Huijsen before they were put up for price tags like this. So, I mean, you could go and get him, but it's still not really going to look that great on you guys. Still, I won't front. And also, we still need an experienced centre-back too. Or an experienced player. So, yeah, don't even really fit the bill like that. But whatever, man. These briefings today have been inherently frustrating, which is why I've just done this in a video format, because it's not even really worth me doing on a live stream. What's the point of me just talking about, oh, we're thinking about these strikers again? The full window plan's over. The next window is the 6th one. What's the plan? Other than to just keep admiring players. But here we are. Here we are. Big up to everybody that's locked in, though. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And we are out, people. Up the Chelsea.